It's Monday, June 13th, and it's about 7:32. And if you'd join the council for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Dale? Yep, you're on. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Eddy? Here. Councilwoman Fogarty?
Here.
Councilman O'Neill?
Here.
3 members present, Council President Whaley and Council Vice President McAtee are absent.
Okay, before we get down to business, we're going to have the swearing in. Chief Espia, if you would come forward with Officer Rachel Soltysiak. And I've probably earned her first moving violation ticket with that pronunciation, so please help us out. Soltysiak, okay.
You did a good job with her name. Members of the council, it's a great privilege for me tonight to swear in our newest police officer to the South Kingstown Police Department. She's homegrown. She's a South Kingstown resident, graduated from South Kingstown High School, and was a senior at the University of Rhode Island. At the time, she was accepted into the Rhode Island Police Municipal Academy. She will continue her education at URI sometime in the future. She graduated with high honors from the Municipal Police Academy. She was selected by her peers within the academy to recite the police officer's code of ethics. No easy task, and she did it flawlessly. I was so proud of her on that day. So, with your permission, I'd like to swear her in officially as a member of the department. And Officer Soltysiak, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, and state your name, please. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Rhode Island, that I will observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the town of South Kingstown, and will faithfully discharge the duties as a member of the South Kingstown Police Department, that I shall always be loyal to my duty and my organization, that I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and trust. I pledge to constantly strive to achieve the objectives and ideals of law enforcement, and will be true to the ethic of police service as a South Kingstown Police Department member. Congratulations, Officer Soltysiak.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Isn't that great to have someone with just drive a little slower?
Thank you, Chief. Congratulations.
Good, Chief.
Before we get to the approval of the minutes of previous meetings, some of you may be wondering, we've got a couple absentees this evening. President Whaley is absent this evening. I do expect Vice President McEntee to be here shortly. She's currently at a South Kingstown High School Athletic Awards banquet in North Kingstown, which her son is being honored along with many other athletes from our high school, so she should be here shortly. So as senior member here, it's up to me to fill in, so hopefully you'll bear with me for, Polly will and Kathy will correct me if I get out of order here. So, all right, let's go to number 4 here on page 1, approval of minutes of the previous meetings.
I move approval of the work sessions, May 17th and May 23rd, 2011.
Second?
All right, thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And all 3 voted aye, so there's no other votes. Approved unanimously. All right, may I have a motion for the minutes from the regular session, May 23rd, 2011?
So moved?
Second?
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that was unanimous. So we're on to the consent agenda. Does anyone have anything they'd like to remove from this evening's consent agenda?
I do not, so I'll make a
No.
motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Seeing, hearing none. All those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
And that was unanimous, all 3 of us. All right, we're on to page 2. Number 6, licenses. A, resolution granting a victualling license to Luke Thai, 249 Main Street, Wakefield, Rhode Island, subject to approval by the Communications Superintendent. Application by Peo Schmidt, Ripka Corporation, 50 Ella Avenue, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. And this is a new application, and is someone here to represent? Good. Come on up and give us your name and tell us what's going on here.
Hi, my name is Zach Longcafi, behalf of Luck Thai Cuisine. We would like to thank all of you for your support. The former owner of the Thai Pepper, she had a baby child. She's no longer interested in running the business, so we'd be more than happy to take it over from there.
Okay. So you are the new owner, lock, stock, and barrel, 100%?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. Counselors, any questions? Polly?
Yes, I want to be sure you don't change anything.
No,
No,
definitely not.
I love the food at Thai Pepper. And can you tell us, are you going to make some changes? I mean,
Nothing changed. The only change we're gonna make is add more menu to it, whatever we have
Yeah.
before.
great, it's a wonderful restaurant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you could tell us your hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
Our hours are from Monday to Saturday, from 11 to 10 p.m., and Sunday, 4:30 to 10 p.m.
All right. And is it Luke Thai, is that going to be the name of the restaurant, or are you going to keep Thai Pepper, or it's
Luke Thai,
Luke Thai, okay, so. Make sure,
Okay.
but still the same great cuisine, so, great, all right.
And do customers, they can BYOB, they can bring in beer and wine?
yes.
Okay, all right. And what's your seating capacity in there?
Currently, we have 24 seats.
All right. All right, any other questions, Counsel?
No, hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve license item A.
Second?
Okay. Any other discussion? Anyone in the audience have anything to have to say on this resolution? I probably should have asked that first, but seeing none. All right, let's have a vote on this. All those in favor of Resolution A, please say aye.
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 And all 3 voted for that, so that's unanimous.
Thank you.
Congratulations and
Yes,
good
good
luck
luck.
to you. And we'll start one more, and let's do licenses of, again, 6B, a resolution granting a holiday sales license to American Promotional Events, Inc., East DBA TNT Fireworks, 50 South County Commons Way, Unit F4, Wakefield, Rhode Island, 02879. Subject to approval by the Fire Chief and Communications Superintendent. Application by Melissa Guduti, Rhode Island / Connecticut Area Manager. 40 South Cherry Street, number 23, Wallingford, Connecticut, 06492, and this is new application. Is she or someone representing the business here? I see someone. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the business, please.
My name is Attorney Tim Chapman. I'm, my business office is 670 Willard Avenue in East Providence, Rhode Island. I'm here for Melissa tonight. The company is looking to sell legal fireworks from the store at Unit F4. It's approximately an 18-day period that they'd be looking to sell, and it does fulfill all the requirements by Rhode Island statute, both the fireworks. I believe we've been in touch with the fire chief, the fire marshal, the town planner regarding the sign, the banner permit. And I think we've fulfilled all the obligations that are required by the town, but I understand if it is granted that it would be subject to anything further that you would place on it.
Could you just before you answer some questions here, could you just go over that 18-day period again for me?
Yeah, we leased it for about a month, but the period would run, I believe we might have, I can't remember what you put on the application, but it's about 18 days that they sell it for, the fireworks from about June 18th to July 5th.
Okay. Kathy or Polly, any questions?
What was in this store before, just so I get it located? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
it doesn't
sorry.
matter. I can find out.
Yeah.
you
And
know.
these are all packaged fireworks, and
Oh, the eyeglass.
Oh, the eyeglass place. Thank you. Thank you. I know right where it is. Yeah, good. Yeah, good luck.
How many TNT stores do they have? I have family in Connecticut, so I drove through, and there seemed to be everywhere in Connecticut.
it's
Just
a
wondering.
it's a national company in, I believe, in Connecticut and Rhode Island. It's about 92 locations. There are a couple of permanent locations in New Hampshire where they have the bang, not the pop. We just have the pop, just like
Yes.
Connecticut. And Connecticut passed the law in 2001. The legislature passed the law last year.
Yes, I remember, yeah. I'm not a big fan of them myself. I like the big ones and somebody setting them off, but, I know people like to celebrate.
I understand.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure the insurance must be something else, too.
It is. I believe by statute it's $1 million, but I believe we carry a $10 million policy.
Wow. Fun facts I always wondered about, so I'm kind of glad you're here.
We've been around to most of the cities and towns, and they've been very receptive, which has been great. And I appreciate the time and effort that your council has put forth, and especially Dale, as usual.
Oh, yeah. Goes unsaid.
Polly, you had another question on this?
No, I just wanted to move approval of License B.
Second?
Okay, and I'm still on discussion here. I am interested, what kind of inventory are you keeping up at South County Commons? I mean,
Believe
Not
by
dollar
law,
amount,
it's
but
about
is it-
125 net pounds, 500 gross pounds, maybe 125 net and 250 gross. But if it's sprinklered, there's only so much you can carry. If it's non-sprinkled, there's only so much you carry. If Melissa was here, she'd have more of an inventory, but she would have an idea of what the inventory exactly was. But that's what's normally allowed by the local fire authority.
do you manufacture your own products here in the United States, or you buy from China? Where?
I'm not quite sure.
I certainly know in the South there are a number of manufacturers, but I don't know.
They have a huge factory in, or at least distribution center in Alabama, and I believe also Pennsylvania.
Okay. And Vice President McEntee has just joined us. Carol, we're on License B. We've been
I
asking
see that.
questions.
Thanks,
so,
Jim.
Welcome aboard, and I'm handing the baton off to you.
So I get to bang the gavel? Just for fun.
So we're on License B, and we've got a motion and a second, and we're still under discussion. If you have any questions for Jim.
No, I don't. I want to apologize for being late. I was at the senior athletic banquet at Quonset, and we have some fabulous athletes in the high school here at South Kingstown, and they all received awards tonight, and they're still there, but I'm here.
Including your son.
Yes,
Carol.
including my son, Rory McEntee. Good luck, kid. And to everyone. But Any further discussion?
Nope.
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm an aye also.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Okay, good luck.
That brings us to public hearing A. A public hearing relative to an application for expansion of a license to keep and sell alcoholic beverages in South Kingstown in accordance with the general laws of 1956 as amended as follows. Class B limited liquor license. Application for expansion of a Class B limited liquor license filed by Phil's Kitchen Incorporated, DBA Phil's Restaurant, 323 Main Street, Wakefield, Rhode Island, by Kenneth J. Tetzner, Vice President. Applicant requests permission to expand the area in which alcoholic beverages may be served to include a second-floor dining room approximately 24 feet by 31 feet in accordance with the special use permit granted by the Zoning Board of Review on April 20th, 2011, and is further defined in an amended site plan dated May 4th, 2011, on file in the town clerk's office. And I see we have Kenny, right, the applicant?
How you
Nice to
doing?
see you.
Nice to see you.
So would you like to just tell us about what you're
Sure.
doing?
Good evening. I'm John Kenyon, attorney for the applicant, Phil's Kitchen, Inc. We're here tonight for an expansion of the Class B liquor license into the second floor of the property located at 323 Main Street. Approximately 10 months ago, this council granted the Class B liquor license, which is limited to beer and wine. Since that time, they've been operating at that location. Their dinner menu has been a success, and as a result, they're looking to expand into the second floor of the building. This will increase the seating by 48 seats. The rest of their operation would stay the same. They received a special use permit for the expansion from the zoning board on April 20th of this year. The property is zoned for the use. There is sufficient parking. There are no site constraints. Carl and Ken Tetzner are the shareholders of Phil's Kitchen, Inc. They're also the members of Wakefield Riverside Associates LLC, which is the owner of the property, which consists of the 3 buildings there. You probably noticed they've been renovating the exterior and the interior since they purchased it. They're hoping the expansion will attract even more people to Main Street. Ken's here tonight. He's going to have some quick testimony, and then he can answer whatever questions you have. Ken, if you want to raise your hand and be sworn in. No. Want to state your name for the record?
Ken Tetzner.
And are you and your father, Carl, the shareholders of Phil's Kitchen, Inc.?
Yes, we are.
And are you also the 2 members of Wakefield Riverside Associates LLC?
Yes, we are.
And how long have you been operating Phil's location at the site?
About 14 years.
And did you receive a liquor license limited to beer and wine from this council last year?
Yes.
And have you been operating under that license since that time?
Yes, we have.
And have you had any issues or violations as a result of that operation?
Nope.
And how has the license affected your business?
It's been a positive impact on business. Definitely helps.
And
People like to have beer and a wine with dinner.
And are you here tonight requesting an expansion of the license to the second floor?
Yes.
And how many dining room seats will be located on the second floor?
48.
And is there any bar proposed there?
No.
And will there be any other change to your operation?
Nope.
And could you explain to the council the need for the expansion?
Sure. We have 48 seats right now. We're starting to get busier. On Friday and Saturday especially, we have people waiting. So I figured if I could move people upstairs, definitely have the business to support the seats, so that would be great.
And do you foresee any site issues regarding parking, lighting, or ingress or egress?
No.
And did you receive a special use permit from the zoning board earlier this year?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Any questions from the council? Polly?
What kind of food do you serve, and how do you get it up to the second floor?
We serve steak, seafood. We have a couple of chicken dishes. It's all homemade food. I should have brought a menu with me. I could have showed you. But we propose to put in a set of stairs through the kitchen eventually to get upstairs to serve the food.
But right now, how will you get up?
Right now,
Stairs.
there's a set of stairs in the
Okay,
front of the house to get up.
thank you.
Yep.
But to follow up on that, are those stairs from the outside, or is
From the
it cut in
outside.
into it, pardon?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so you have to go outside, then up?
Outside.
Right, I think that's what Polly was asking.
Yeah, there's a door on the side.
Those were the only stairs I could see, so I thought,
Those are the stairs, yep.
yeah, so you're hopefully planning to put some inside.
Right.
I see.
But we're gonna have a door on the inside that go to those stairs to get up.
Yeah. Great.
Anyone else? Jim?
You've been working awfully hard, that the clapboard siding you put on there, that bright yellow is blinding when the sun is setting.
Yeah.
But really looks nice, and
Thanks.
you've done a great job on that. And,
Appreciate it.
Kenny, I just want to know, is the kitchen going to remain downstairs, or are you going to have a kitchen upstairs also?
Nope, kitchen's gonna remain downstairs. Can support the seats, so,
So you'll go up the stairs to bring the food upstairs?
yes.
Thanks. Any other questions from the council?
Kenny, you'll probably be using it for breakfast, too. I would assume that's where you really have a lot of your wait time, it seems.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought you would.
Might be tough, but I'll figure it out. I'm still putting the pieces together as far as breakfast.
All right. I always think that is your busiest time of day.
Yeah.
Any comments from the audience? No questions?
Excuse me, I
ahead.
have one more question.
Jim?
Ken, have you, there are no longer any apartments up there?
Right now, there's nothing in the building but Phil's.
Right, so it's going to be strictly commercial, first and second floor?
In that area, in that part of the building.
but
Eventually, there might be apartments.
Right.
I'm not
So
taking
there
over the
still
whole
is room
building.
on the- Still is room on the second floor for apartments?
Yeah, there could be,
Okay,
in the back of the building.
okay, okay.
And how many seats did you say were going to go upstairs, Ken?
48,
48. And 48 downstairs also?
yes.
Any other questions? No? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. So now,
Thank you.
do I have any further motions from the table regarding this liquor license, this expansion of Phil's?
I make a motion to, I make a motion to approve the Class B limited license to, to the seating for Ken's DBA Phil's Restaurant.
Second?
Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Congratulations and good
Thank
luck.
Good luck.
That brings us to Public Hearing B, a public hearing relative to an application for a license to keep and sell alcoholic beverages in South Kingstown in accordance with the general laws of 1956 as amended as follows. Class B limited liquor license. Application for a Class B limited liquor license by La Strada Wood-Fired Pizza Incorporated, doing business as La Strada Cafe and Pizzeria, 920 Matunic Beach Road, Wakefield, Rhode Island, by Jennifer Albrecht, president of the inside dining room and outside patio, in accordance with a special use permit granted April 20th, 2011, by the Zoning Board of Review, and is further defined in a site plan on file in the town clerk's office. Jennifer, I see you are here.
I am here, and also Nicholas Schneider as well.
Welcome.
Hi, how you guys
We
doing?
were
And-
supposed to have our lawyer here, Mr. Jim Ackerman. He represented us last time in front of the zoning board on April 20th for our special use permit, but
He's not here.
He's not here. But we'll do it anyway.
But we'll do it, we'll do our best.
Sure, why don't you tell us about what your plans are, and
Well, our plan is we're going to continue what we're doing with the pizza. We've been open now for 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks now. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to bring in local craft beers and local wines, as well as some specialty stuff, kind of like what we're doing right now with our pizza, bringing in local produce, local meats, and then mixing up with some specialty stuff. And that's what we like to do. We like to pair the beers and wines with our pizza. Yeah, and so far, so good. The last 2 weeks, it's been great. We've got really great reception for what we've been doing. The pizza's awesome. We keep it local. We have Carpenter's Farm, and anything that Carpenter's Farm can't give us, we fill it in with Belmont Market. All our cheeses are from Narragansett Creamery, and like I said, then we have some specialty stuff from Italy, from New York, and yeah, we just want to keep that going, even with the beer and wine. And we only want to serve alcohol till 10:30. We don't want to be a bar. We don't want to be a club. We just want to be able to bring something new to the community, something different, pairing the beers and wines with the food. So that's what we'd like to do.
okay. Do I have any questions from the council? Polly?
Yeah, we were concerned, at the work session, we mentioned the time, and you state in your application 10:30, and you
Yeah,
stated
12 to
here tonight.
10:30.
That does make a big difference.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be served with the food, obviously.
That was a self-imposed, that we did that to hopefully try and appease the neighbors. We figured it might be easier, and it might be a nice gesture to say, rather than try and stay open that late, so we only want to do it around dinner time. You know, we're not trying to stay
Yeah.
open too
Yeah.
late. We want to still be able to serve food past then, but as far as the beer and wine and any of the alcohol, that would terminate at 10:30. So we figured that might be a nice way to just, appease and people know where we're coming from.
And as far as legalities, I know there's been some question as to if we're not there, what happens, which we plan on being there. You can tell by the bags under my eyes that I never leave. But
easier.
our manager, Saya, is tip certified by the state, so therefore she's certified to serve alcohol as well. So we made sure that everybody's got all their training, all the proper paperwork as well.
Any other questions? Jim? Oh, sorry, Polly.
No, I just wanted,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
want just one quick question. What is your favorite pizza what is the most popular one you have served? And I love the emphasis on
Well, right now,
local.
what's going on is I think it's between the Carpenter and the Notorious FIG, which is this fig pie, which is amazing. And our Carpenter is sausage and spinach from Carpenter's Farm, as well as caramelized Vidalia onions, fresh mozzarella from Narragansett Creamery, and our sauce, which is based with San Marzano tomatoes, and I can't tell you the rest. Because we need our secrets around here. And then the Notorious FIG is pretty amazing. You can explain that one.
Ricotta cheese from Narragansett Creamery, mozzarella cheese fresh from Narragansett Creamery, coarse ground black pepper, supersod, and Mission figs.
Mission
So it's like
figs.
sweet and savory.
Yeah, and those
Pretty
two
good.
pies started off as just a weekly special, and now I have to change my menu again and add those guys on there.
Thank you. Sounds
welcome.
great.
Jim?
Yeah, 24 seats, is that just inside? What's the seating outside?
The 24 seats is actually
Is for
Is for
fire.
fire. The DEM, however, because of our septic, our restriction is 20
Inside.
inside. But the fire is the 24.
Fire
It's
code
a-
is 24.
So
And how about outside?
through the zoning board, that was on April 20th, we were granted special use to seat outside, and that's split between the inside and outside dining area, so either
Right.
or.
So the 24 is then gross, whether it's inside or out, total, or?
It was
what are the-
total, the total was,
Yeah.
on the zoning was, I believe, was 20 either or, so it was inside or outside. I mean, that was the best we could do, but we're working with the DEM, and we've spoken to a couple people, a gentleman named Sullivan, I think was his name, and yeah, according to the DEM, they don't
They don't recognize the outside.
outdoor seating, so.
And as far as our parking, we have plenty of parking for our seating, so.
How many parking spaces, do you know?
We've parked a bunch of cars in there. It's only,
Basically,
we have-
everybody can drive, one person. I mean, it's not
I think
efficient.
it's one space per 3 people. So to meet our capacity, it would be
We'd need
seven spots. We have
Yeah.
close to, we've got a bunch of spots.
20 possibly, but
Good.
yeah, we've got a big parking lot, so it's kind of nice. And we prefer people not drive individually.
That's
Biking
good.
is
Yeah,
nice.
Makes sense. But Jim?
Delivery plans?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah, we're delivering.
We've been doing a lot of deliveries. She's actually been doing delivery on bicycle to
Wow.
Roy's
Yeah.
and Mary's. We're delivering so far over to Snug Harbor, a little bit past Snug Harbor, going
To
that direction.
Mary's and Roy's.
We're going back to
Peninsula.
Green Hill on the other direction, then over Route 1, going past
On a
Pitcher's
bicycle.
Garage.
Not
No,
all
no,
on
that's-
bicycle. I'm in shape, but not that
Pizza's
good
cold by
shape.
then.
Yeah, we want
Chief
people to
is
get,
sitting behind you, so
we want to make sure everybody gets a hot pizza, so I don't want to, I mean, I'm fast, but my beach cruiser can only go so fast.
But my main question is, tell me about the oven that you have that's on wheels, and where does that thing go?
We've got we use 2 ovens. There's the ovens that are in there. They're the gas ovens. Those are Baker Pride. Those are really nice gas ovens. When we started last year, we were a mobile business, and we did most of our catering was private events. So we have a wood-fired oven, and it's on a trailer, so we can bring it to different events in any location. We don't have the money right now to switch it over and install the wood fire oven inside. So we're using nice days the wood fire oven outside, so we can offer both products. We can offer a wood fired pizza, which is has more of a charred taste, and it's got just a little bit different flavor.
And that's 12-inch.
Yeah, it's 12 inches. And then for the slices and larger pies, that comes out of the gas oven. The throat of the ovens can only accommodate a 14-inch pie or a 12-inch pie, so.
But you travel around the state with that oven?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did
it's been
last
great,
year,
yeah.
yeah.
We've got a function coming up, actually, in about a week, right around the corner at the Matunic Community
But you
Association.
start it up each time you find a location, or is it warm or cooking as
What
you drive?
you do is, because we're going 7 days a week, it's always fired, so there's always, the hearth is always warm. It never drops below 450, 500 degrees, and then when we get there, we fire it. It takes about an hour and a half for it to come up to about 850, so,
And you have another place in Providence?
no.
Or did
No,
you?
what we were doing is we were running the business out of Providence, the mobile business, and that's how we ended up down here was we would have 2-3 events in a row, and so we were going between Moonstone and Providence, and it was just too much. So then when this place opened up in December, we just jumped on it, and originally we wanted it just for our mobile business, but once we got in there and scrubbed it clean and it was super pretty, we realized how amazing all the equipment is. I mean, it's top-of-the-line equipment, so we would be silly not to open up a pizzeria as well with it, because, I mean, it's Baker Pride ovens, and the owners who actually own the building just outfitted it with just like the best equipment.
We were renting a commissary in Providence. We were renting
Yeah.
a commercial kitchen, so, last year.
Thank you.
How many different pizzas do you have in the menu?
As of right now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, you guys have it up there. And we're going to try and stay with that. And
Around 9 right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
But then that's just our specialty pie.
Those are our specialty pies, and then what we do, because we do everything local and by the farms, sometimes carpenters and other farms have like crazy vegetables or meat, so we'll just put it on the pizza. Even fruit. I'm not afraid of the fruit. Put that on there too.
Great.
Yeah, so we'll have, those are our specialties, and of course you have your standards, your cheese and your pepperoni, and then you can build your own pizzas as well. And like I said, you know, depending on what we get, if we get something new, something cool, we'll put that on a pizza and make a special of it. And that's where having the beer and wine license would be great, because now we have this, you know, the produce is seasonal. So you have your certain produces that are available. Well, beer and wine is the same way. When you get the local craft stuff, it's seasonal. So now, when you have your seasonal pizza, you can pair it up with a seasonal beer and a seasonal wine, and they kind of just mesh with each other because they're on the same calendar. So,
Any other questions from the table? No? This is a public hearing, so I'm going to open it to the public. If anybody would like to comment on this application.
I'm Fran O'Brien from
Hey, Fran.
Tara's Family Pub. Nice to see you all again on a
Nice to
different
see you.
topic. The pizza sounds great. I think Nick and Jen have what seems to be a really good concept. I guess I just question the need for another liquor license within a 100 square yard area or whatever it is. I also think, and I do wish them well, I think it sounds like a terrific concept and the menu sounds wonderful. I just wonder, would we not be better, would the town, I know I would be better off, I'm not sure, would the town be as well to issue, if that's the town's purview, I'm not sure, BYOB or something, until the product and the whole concept proves itself to be viable. At that point, apply again. I believe, and I don't know how long, but I believe it's a short-term lease. I guess my question is, again, if things didn't go as well as things are planned, what happens to that liquor license then, once it's been issued? Does that get withdrawn, or does it stay floating, or whatever?
I think Mike would answer that.
Yes, if it's not operating, the license is there, it would have to come back to you if it were going to be transferred to another operator. But the license is specific to the location for the 1-year period. And again, if it's not operating, no one else could operate there without coming back before you with a public hearing on a transfer application.
Okay. Well, again, I wish them well. I think the pizza sounds great. The concept sounds interesting at the least. I just think if we walk before running, that may be as well for the town as well as the local business. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come forward.
My name's Kevin Finnegan, run the Ocean Mists like that. I do wish them very well. I wish them very well. I think it's a great idea. Probably the same thing as like Fran, I'm maybe coming from a residence. I think there's a need for that. More of, even Tara's is a more family place than mine. I would assume, like you were saying earlier, that's going to be a family place. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't, who picks up the pieces, who's been there for, 20, 30 years. Just my understanding of a liquor license is like, go slow first before it's a privilege. I would even tell them that. I've talked to them for 3 or 4 years. I didn't know about liquor licenses, but it would be like, open up, get your feet wet, hire fire, work all those things out. Who's going to do the hours, and then, kind of like you've done with other liquor licenses, you see, you walk before you run. But I welcome them. I've helped any business in town. I mean, in Wakefield and Matunic, so it's not, don't misread this as a negative thing or something like that. It's a 2 o'clock, I was here for the 2 o'clock too, which you pointed out. I was a little afraid of food being served even myself. Like, I've never applied for one because we did have a truck there years ago, and right now everyone clears out of Matunic by 1:30. When I had the truck there till 1, they still lingered, eating on the hoods and hanging out a little, more like 2:15. And I usually hire a police officer till a certain time. So I was here at 1, because of that. And you sent me a letter stating that I was concerned about any service for me or Tara or anyone at, till 2 o'clock. So that was 1. And 2, I would, I'm not afraid of the liquor license in that sense or competition, and there will be none. We'll feed each other and all that stuff, but it seems like walk before you run type of thing. So, but you do what's best, and that's it. So, good luck.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Rafa Bakusi. My wife owns the Promise, and we ran the pizza place for approximately 5 years, and we struggled for 5 years. We closed it, and we had 2 more tenants, which did not make it. And one of the reasons is you need a little more to, how you going to say, spice up the food or whatever, because I had a pizza last night that was excellent. I bring my own wine. What happened if I'm in the area, I don't have no wine. So I think, this committee should considering very, very hard to give those people, and by the way, not Ocean and Tara, once a week, I clean up their mess because everybody throws cans and containers all over the yard. We don't have no problem with that, okay? So, I appreciate this committee to considering, granted, and plus, they're creating job. They put 3 people to work. So I hope you people considering do the right choice. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Anybody up here? Jim?
Yeah, Mike, it's an annual license, but can they be idle for 9 months and they still own that license?
Yeah, a license is good for 1 year. If it's not used by the end of that 1 year, it does expire under state law.
Okay. So it makes no difference.
But there are plenty of cases, and I mean, obviously, we don't want that to happen here, but businesses fail.
Yeah.
And again, the license, nothing can happen with that license unless it came back to you. And if no one was interested in it, it would expire at the end of that year.
But seasonal is fine if they were closed for 9 months?
That's
open
correct.
Okay, right,
Yes.
thank you.
And you do have the ability to put a 10:30 closing on the license if that's what they're asking
Okay.
for.
Okay. Steve?
Steve?
Just one clarification. The license year for liquor licenses runs from December 1st. So the license that would be granted this evening, if the council saw fit, would expire on November 30. They would be subject to renewal for December 1st with all other liquor licenses, but it's a one-year license if it were issued for December 1st through the following November 30th. So the license that would be before you tonight for request would expire November 30th.
Any other questions from the table? Well, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I move we close the public hearing.
Second?
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So that concludes the public hearing. And we move on to public hearing C, which is a public informational hearing for public discussion relative to the need for additional liquor licenses within the community. Steve, do you have anything you want to say on that?
The town council's rules for operation of liquor licenses and the consideration for liquor licenses requires that the council on an annual basis establish a maximum number of licenses per class. If the council, during the course of the year, looks to change and amend the maximum number in any of the classifications prior to consideration of that resolution amendment, the council is requiring itself to hold a informational hearing. This public informational hearing that you've got scheduled tonight is based on the fact that there are no licenses available that have not been committed in the Class B limited license category. So if the council wished to provide that license prior to that consideration, they would need to amend the resolution increasing the maximum from 3 to 4. This informational hearing should be open to the public at this point to request if there's comments, concerns, or items of interest that the council should take under consideration in advance of considering an expansion of the number of licenses currently available in the B limited class.
So with that said, is any questions from the town council regarding the expansion or the non-expansion of the current liquor licenses? Class B, limited. Any comments from the table? Hearing none, is there any comments from the public regarding the expansion of limited liquor license, Class B limited liquor licenses? If there are, please come forward. Somebody raise a hand back there? Yep. I thought I saw that hand go up.
Yes, how are you? I haven't even formed a question, but this is where it becomes complicated to me.
Bob, please state your name for the record.
Bob Traeger,
Thank
South
you.
Kingstown, Succotash Road. I don't know. I read this, and now I realize that we're approving two things then. If we approve the liquor license for the establishment, we're also adding a liquor license. Is that correct? Am I getting this right?
Well, that would be the next item, new business item 13A, which would be amending the current liquor licenses in the town as it relates to the Class B limited liquor license from 3 to 4, or not amending it and leaving it at 3.
Well, knowing very well that a liquor license of any kind is a tremendous addition to any eating establishment. Therefore, I understand why people want to get a liquor license. But this is where I think the town council is under the gun to some extent, because how far do you go with this liquor license expansion? I would like a liquor license, even though I'm in Narragansett at Skip's Dock. Sure, I could serve beer with my, I would. Jim Stock, I'm sure, would like a liquor license. I mean, everybody wants a liquor license. So where do you go with it? I don't even know which direction you should go. I mean, I like these people. I like what they're doing. I like everything they said. But that I would have no problem with. But I do have a problem with how you go about making decisions about expanding the number of liquor licenses. And I think it's kind of an interesting thing, because all I can think of is, you do it for one, you better do it for everybody.
Thank you. Any more comments from the public? Jennifer and Nicholas?
First of all, I just want to say...
Would you state your name again for the record,
Yes,
please?
Nicholas Schneider. I'm one of the owners of La Strada Cafe and Pizzeria. First, I just want to say thank you for being... I wasn't expecting this, but for being as gracious as you were to Kevin and Tara and Fran. Regarding the number of licenses, it seems that there's well, not that it seems, but there's a correlation between the population, town population, and number of licenses. And I understand where you draw the line in giving one to someone and not giving it to another person. But according to the 2010 census, there's been an increase in population of over 6% in South Kingston. There's also been an increase in unemployment, which is closer to 10%. And job growth is negative. It's actually decreased 4%, 3.95%. South County Independent actually did a brief piece on the increase of the population back in March. So with that being said, I agree that they shouldn't be given out like candy, but there's responsible people, and responsible adults should make responsible, rational decisions. And I don't think that they're popping up on every corner at a candy store, or they're vending machines. It's not. I don't think it's out of hand. I think this is a reasonable request, which is beer and wine till 10:30 at a family eatery. There's no other family place really to go down in that area. If you're at Roy Carpenter's or Mary Carpenter's, where are you gonna? You can go to Narragansett, or you can go to for mom and dad to have a beer with their food. If you're going to go to a bar, I think it's pretty hard to find a better bar than the Ocean Mist or Terrace Family Pub. I say that to all of my friends as well. So we're already able to make these decisions as adults, and I don't think that this is a really risky decision, or I don't consider a risky decision. And if I were a homeowner with a family in the neighborhood, I wouldn't see it as something threatening, but I do understand where you're coming from. So that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you. Kathy?
I have to say that this is quite honestly, after the liquor store license, and that's really where the 2010 and the census population comes into play. I don't know how many people came up to me and were happy that we didn't expand the liquor store license. And, you know, reading what went on with the zoning board and a review with yours, a lot of people say it really is very easy to walk into the town of South Kingstown and get a liquor license. And I had to stand back and kind of reflect on that, because 9 years I've been sitting here. And I thought to myself, you know, really, we have to be a little bit more strict about this. It doesn't seem like it's a bad idea because it's you who's putting the license in. But I really think that we really do need to reflect, because it's just not your Class B limited. We're talking of full liquor licenses at a lot of different restaurants around the town. And I don't want that perception in this town. I think that happened in Narragansett. I think one time even the president of URI kind of gave a whack at us when we were considering a pizza place up at the Tower Hill. And it's something that I'm not going to take lightly when these come in anymore, because I think that, you know, I just don't want our town to be just, you know, too many bars and too many liquor licenses. I just don't think that reflects well on the town. That's why I'm really giving serious thought. You have just come into the town, there's no track record. The gentleman who had the restaurant there beforehand, there's a track record with them. But it does concern me, because you were going to be doing your firework back in New York and so forth. Even going to 1030, it is a very, very concentrated area over there, and that's where we have most of our problems in the summertime. And granted, Kevin always has a police officer on duty, you know, to quell any issues that, you know, go on down there. But it is a residential area. Look at all those residents that move into Mary Carpenter's in the rental units there. So it's a very, very big decision. This is not, I'm not taking this one very lightly at all, because it did bring, again, because of that census and that liquor store, it did bring a lot of people up and saying, you know, what is it with this town? We really can kind of keep doing it. I'm glad that you didn't pass that liquor store. And I think that we really seriously, as a council, really need to consider what we're doing here, and maybe have people have a track record, and prove that they can, you know, even if you had a BYOB situation there, that it's controlled, before we just start handing them out willy-nilly. It is a true concern, and as a council person, it's a reflection of all of us up here. So I'm not quite sure where I stand right now, and it's no reflection on you and your pizza, and I'm sure it's great. It's just that I think that we have to be, you know, considerate of all the businesses and what's going on in our town. Because I just don't want everybody, then the next one comes and the next one comes, and where do we start drawing the line? I want to see some consistency and some, you know, some track record. And I think that's just best for all the people of the town. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents in about expansion of an additional liquor license.
Polly?
I think that's true, Kathy, and I do think we have to take each case as it comes. We have to look at each case. I can't imagine a nicer evening than to go down to Matunic and have a pizza and a glass of wine or a glass of beer. I think they go together, and I think that Mr. Lakowski said he had difficulty running his just because of this, and not having a liquor license. And I think if you have either a restaurant or a pizza place, you just assume you can buy liquor. And I think that it would be really a great penalty on the pizza people if they did not have a liquor license. So I would be in favor of it.
Jim?
Yeah, I've forgotten how many unsuccessful places that we've had in our community. I think the council has been very careful over the years. I've been in this council for over 11 years, and maybe we have a net 3 increase. I think we've really been very, very careful. But the previous business there last summer didn't make it. It is a summer business. It is a seasonal business. Those 2 or 3 months are where they're going to earn most of the money. It is summer. I guess the expectation would be that beer and wine would be reasonable, but the other folks who were in that location before were unable to make it. That's not a good sign. Also, too, to go back to that census thing, this whole thing, the package store, just is driving me nuts. I think if I'm clear from what Dale, our town clerk, told me the last time, we have 4 package store licenses in South Kingstown, supposedly 1 per 6,000 residents. We just passed the 30,000 mark, so we could consider a 5th. Yet there's also a rule. For instance, take the town of Narragansett with half our population, 16,000 people. You got to love this. The state has 1 for every 4,000. So they've got 4 licenses, package stores. We have 4. They have 16,000 people. We have 30 plus. This nuts? This is how the state operates. So, I mean, just, numbers, Polly and Kathy are right. We really have to look at each case as it stands on its own merits. That's how it has to work. I look at this a little bit more broadly. I look at the only source, according to the records we get from the state, the only 10-year continuous growth in revenues in the state have been from our sales of our meals tax, maybe averaging about 4 to 5% a year. I've got to encourage that. I like the idea of jobs, and this is not an easy decision, but and I think everyone's made a good case here. But I'd like to see all that area be successful. I want to see everybody acting as a team down there, and I mean that because if we fail to build that retaining wall, no one's going to get any business there. That wall on the west side of the Ocean Mist is incredibly important. So I'm looking at this in the spirit that everyone has presented it tonight, and I will support the increase of the limited B license.
I'd just like to say that I think we are very careful with these liquor licenses, and we do take each case as it comes. And I think you've made an excellent case for the business that you're proposing and you're trying to make successful there. And I think with these economic times, it's very difficult to start a new business. And I agree with Polly and Jim that a liquor license can only help. I also think that by closing by not serving alcohol after 10:30 is certainly very, it's a good decision. It certainly helps with the other businesses that are well established there. And in the summer, there seems to be plenty of business to go around. But you're establishing yourself as uniquely different from the other 2 bars, which are very unique. And you must know both Kevin and Tara and Fran that, your bars are very popular in this town and everywhere it seems. But I think that they're being conservative, closing at 10:30. We can enforce that, and I think that'll help everybody. It's a good compromise. And so I would be in favor of the liquor license, the Class B liquor license. And with that, are there any other comments here?
I would like to just remind Jim of when you said that the place had not been successful, which it had not been. Remember, Ocean Mist, before they came in, that place wasn't very successful either. So if you have a good thing, it takes a lot of hard work, but if you have a good thing, it really works. People do come.
So do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
You do. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails 4-0. Now we go to new business, item 13A, a resolution affirming or amending the town's liquor license rules and regulations. Section 1, the number of licenses for each class shall be authorized as indicated below. The only license that we're considering is Class B Limited. The number currently is 3. Do I have a motion to amend?
Yes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Vote aye.
Can we clarify that the motion is to increase from 3 to 4 licenses?
Certainly.
Yes, the motion was to increase from 3 to 4 in the limited B licenses class.
And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 3 in favor, 1 opposed. So, you got, now,
We gotta go
So
back.
now,
We gotta go
now
back.
we need to go back. You have a closed public hearing, and you now need a motion on the request for a Class B liquor license, which you've now created.
okay, so we're back
Class B
to
limited.
public hearing B. And we need a motion to grant the license to La Strada Wood-Fired Pizza Incorporated, DBA La Strada Cafe and Pizzeria at 920 Matunic Beach Road.
I make that motion.
I
And
second it.
Jim, did you want to make that motion with that 10:30 restriction? Because I think that's an
Yes.
important part of the discussion you had this evening.
Then I make that motion amending it to the closing time of 10:30 PM.
And just for the service of liquor, they obviously can continue to stay open
Right.
to
Right.
serve.
And I accept that amendment.
Did you second that, Polly?
I did.
Oh, second. Ready, time to take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll say aye also because the license is there now, so, although I
Motion carries
will be
4-0.
watching.
You got your license. Thank you. Congratulations. Good luck. So that takes us to public hearing D, a public hearing relative to the adoption of the fiscal year 2011 to 2012 position allocation to pay schedule as shown on Exhibit 1 attached here too. Steve, would you like to expand on that?
Attached as Exhibit 1 is the position allocation to pay schedule that was adopted by the town council as a component of the town council's adopted 2011-2012 municipal budget. The position allocation to pay schedule provides the salary ranges for each of the non-union positions within the town's municipal employment system. As the council's aware, we have union contracts with our public works employees, our emergency medical services division, our police, as well as the town hall general employees. Those persons outside of the unions themselves, where salaries are established through the labor contracts, are positions resident to the position allocation to pay schedule. Pay schedule for the 2011-2012 year reflects a 2.25% increase over the salaries currently paid in the 2010-2011 year. Be glad to answer any questions the council may have relative to the pay schedule as presented on tonight's agenda.
Any questions or comments from the table?
Steve, how many employees are affected by that?
There's approximately, I'd say approximately 40 employees that are within that,
Yeah.
within that pay schedule.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any comments from the public?
If
Hearing-
not, then Carol, then I move to close public hearing D.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
And I will move that we accept the public hearing relative to the adoption of the federal year 2011-2012 position allocation to pay schedule, which is
Second.
an increase 2.25%.
Yes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to Communication D, a communication received June 9th, 2011, from Councilman James O'Neill, proposing adoption of a resolution to the General Assembly concerning pension reform is received, placed on file, and the Town Council further directs. Jim?
If I may, I'm going to ask that this be withdrawn, because I'd love to have all 5 council members here, have it moved to the next meeting. But just quickly here, the reason I've put this in, we all got the memo from the town manager back on May 11/12, and it's stunning. You know, our community's got to find $4 million if the pension requests are not changed, and that's before anything else. And so all I'm trying to do with this resolution, when we do talk about it, is really get a team approach here with the General Assembly and the council. So with that, then, I would like to withdraw until the last meeting in June. Does it take a vote, or can I just?
Do we need a vote? If he wants to withdraw it.
Yeah, you want to continue, he said withdraw it first, you really want to continue. this.
Continue.
Continue
So,
it, okay.
Yeah, motion to continue
Motion
to the next meeting.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next is Communication E, a communication received June 9th, 2011, from Councilman James O'Neill, proposing adoption of a resolution to the school committee concerning school reconfiguration options is received, placed on file, and the town council further directs.
And this is very much like my pension resolution. I just, we need all 5 of us here with a discussion. I'm quite concerned that the reconfiguration committee was on the wrong mission. And again, I refer back to town manager's memo of May 11/12 with the $4 million pension debt. We've got outstanding contract that hasn't been agreed to yet. And I really believe that the reconfiguration committee was given the wrong message here. Unfortunately, it's all about money. So when we have a chance 2 weeks from tonight, I hope we could have a thorough discussion with this, because we have got one gigantic mess coming at us next year. All I'm trying to do is get the team approach here and avoid a chaos that putting a budget together. If the General Assembly doesn't get to this until October and November, our budget numbers are already in place, and it'll simply be chaos. So I'm hoping that we can get a team approach to try to get the General Assembly to move earlier on this. So I would like to have this continued to 2 weeks from this evening.
No, second.
And also, we just received the reconfiguration report, I believe, today, or yesterday?
Yes,
And it's in the
council received it this evening.
Right. So I have a motion and a second. Let's take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to comments from interested citizens. Anybody want to approach the podium? Good.
Keith Forehaven. I'm your neighbor here on High Street. I'd like to thank you for your participation in the Memorial Day parade that didn't really take place, but it was my understanding that you would be marching under an elected banner instead of Democratic banner and a Republican banner, and I'd like to support that because I think it's a simple message, but it's a message of unity. And I want to tip my hat to that and thank you for that small gesture. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Any other comments from the audience?
Jonathan Daly LaBelle. And maybe I'll just state the obvious that, these resolutions that were brought forward, which are being continued to 2 weeks' time, people that are in the community should have, should really be very interested in what this conversation is, obviously around the pensions and school configuration. So I just hope that, there's a little bit of a crowd here, but the more people that participate in the discussion, the better outcomes will be. And so I hope that people are aware of this and can make the meeting in a couple weeks. And this may be part of the manager's report, but obviously important school committee meetings tomorrow where the reconfiguration plan will be presented. That's tomorrow night at the high school auditorium, I believe, at 7 o'clock. And then Thursday, high school, I think it's the high school cafeteria. There'll be a work session where really it's just going to be open to community members to come in and talk about the reconfiguration plan, their thoughts on it, and kind of a discussion between the officials there and the community members. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Anyone else? Polly?
I have one thing. I wanted to ask people to please bring down their yard sale signs once the yard sale has been over. I would appreciate that. The community would appreciate it. Thank you.
I certainly would like to comment with Polly on that. I'm seeing some of our local telephone poles, which are becoming so damaged, I'm worried about the next windstorm. And you're right, they don't take their staples and nails and tacks with them. But you are right, that's very helpful for the community to have those signs taken down once the event is no longer in past.
Thank you.
Thanks, Polly.
Welcome.
Hello, Doral Beasley, live in Kingston. I quickly read over the on the website this afternoon. Can I submit a letter this evening to the council, signed letter?
You can hand it to Dale, the clerk.
I'm just going to briefly explain what the letter's about. Last Thursday evening, the second of two weather events for that day hit Kingston, the Kingston area. The second event, that thunderstorm, knocked over the top 2/3 of a large tree on Biscuit City Road. That tree, when it fell, that portion of that tree, when it fell, blocked off that road. It took down the power line and fell across the road and blocked the road off for all traffic for 2.5 hours until the tree could be removed and the power line gotten off the road. Then another hour or so it took the National Grid time to reconnect the power. So for about 3 to 4 hours that night, that road was blocked off for all intents and purposes for traffic. Now, about a decade ago, and Chief Vespia will remember this, I think, and I have here my letter stating that the town council, Jim, you were at the time the president, received this letter, and it concerns an emergency connection to one of the neighboring neighborhoods for Biscuit City. When this first came up about a decade ago, we had a lively discussion of residents from both Taft Hill, Heritage Drive, and Biscuit City concerning if there was a connection to one of the adjoining neighborhoods, where it would go and who it would affect. And at that time, I submitted this letter, this prior letter, and it stated that after looking over looking over the 2 or 3 options, the option that seemed the most likely, or to me that was the best option, would be where the Biscuit City connector would go from Whitehorn, the end of Whitehorn Drive to the cul-de-sac at the end of Enterprise Terrace. Now that, it goes, it's about a 2 or 3/10 of a mile distance, and it goes behind some houses, but there's enough vegetation for, if it was just a one, you know, it would just be a one-lane road that would be blocked off on either end with removable posts that could be taken out by one of the emergency services if it needed. The demographics of our Biscuit City community has changed over the years. We have a lot less families with young children. Where I used to get 40 or 50 kids on a Halloween night, I'm lucky to get maybe 10. And the number of people that are getting on in years, myself included, is increasing. So it's not unusual to see an emergency vehicle going down the road and, with their lights on for whatever purpose. And again, I understand that it's 10 years since there was this last talked about, so that someone could say, well, if it only happens once every 10 years, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is if during the 2.5 hours when the road was totally blocked off, if someone in my neighborhood had had a heart attack or if a house had caught on fire, there wouldn't have been any way to get people there or services there in a timely manner. So I would like to have this re-looked at by the town, and maybe they could come forward to us and with some options. I think it's time overdue.
Jim?
Yeah, Doral and Steve, I thought we had some agreement, either breakaway posts up there into Enterprise, or is it just simply overgrown, or am I wrong in that assumption? I know we did that in a number of areas.
No, the emergency access, I don't believe, was ever instituted. I think that if the question is, can the, if Doral's asking, can it be reviewed again, what I would do is to submit the letter that he submitted to the council, to the Transportation Committee, and have a review made of what actions occurred. I think it was more than 10 years ago at this point, and to determine whether there is some means of providing for an emergency egress from the Biscuit City area. We can take a look at it. I can't answer questions on it tonight. If I'd known that the issue was coming up, I would have reviewed the matter before tonight, but until I have a chance to look at it, I can't comment on it intelligently.
I mean, yeah, I know we had quite a discussion about that, but I just don't know if we ever got an egress or an access through either Enterprise or Teft Hill.
The Teft Hill, the argument, a decade ago with the Teft Hill connection was, first of all, would it be a longer road, or longer, the little connector would have to be longer, and the other thing is, though, that the Heritage Drive Enterprise Terrace, that little neighborhood is also a one access or one egress road to South Road. So the same thing could happen there. You could have one of those giant pine trees in Potter Woods, which are falling over all the time because of the
I think the issue is one of property ownership that we'll have to review again, and we'll provide a report to the council based on the request that has been made this evening.
Okay, sounds good. Carol, thank you.
How many homes down there would you say that were affected?
I told my wife I was going to go count them tonight. She said I was out of my mind. So I kind of looked at it quickly on my map here. I think there's 300 to 400 house lots and homes. We're pretty built out. I'd say there's probably at least 300 homes in Biscuit City off of all the roads, Blueberry Hill, Ledgewood, all those areas.
Wow. Okay, thank you. So, anybody else? Any more comments from the public? Interested citizens? Okay, well, we'll move on to town manager's report.
I have no specific items to comment on this evening. I'll certainly answer any questions relative to any of the projects that are ongoing at this time, if the council has any.
Any questions from the table? No? Then we have the town solicitor's report.
Same, unless there's some questions, I'm all set.
And I don't believe we're making any appointments tonight, so that brings us to new business item B, a resolution authorizing an award of bid to D&D Construction Company Incorporated, 131 Cohasset Avenue, West Warwick, Rhode Island, to furnish and install an on-site wastewater treatment system in accordance with all bid specifications and in an amount not to exceed $20,996, including a contingency, and as further described in a memorandum from the Director of Leisure Services to the Town Manager, dated May 31st, 2011, and entitled Recommendation for Bid Award, Adult Day OWTS Installation. Steve?
The item before you is, we received 6 different bids on the installation of the new septic system. As the council's aware, we are planning to put a 1,000-square-foot addition onto the Adult Day Services facility on Old Post Road. For us to be able to accomplish that, we need to meet DEM requirements as far as the septic system. New septic system must be installed. It will be a septic system that's an advanced technology system for denitrification system, because, believe it or not, that part of Old Post Road is part of the SAMP plan. So this is the cost of the system for the denite system. We had estimated the cost on that system at approximately $25,000. We're below what the estimate was. Recommendation is to award to the low bidder, D&D Construction.
Any comments at the table?
Looks like a pretty good price. I don't know the capacity of gallonage, but usually that's for a 3-bedroom home for a D-Night system. Anyway, it looks good. I'm glad the bids came in like that. And so if there are no questions, I'd like to move approval of new business resolution B.
Second?
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. New business item C, a resolution authorizing an award of bid to East Winds Dry Cleaners Incorporated, 4619 Post Road, East Greenwich, Rhode Island, for dry cleaning and laundry services at the unit prices bid for the period July 1, 2011 through June 30th, 2012, and is further described in a memorandum from the police chief to the town manager dated May 31st, 2011, and entitled Bid Recommendation, Dry Cleaning and Laundry Service for the fiscal year 2011 to 2012. Steve?
2 bids were received. This is the lowest qualified bidder. This bidder's been the vendor of record for the last 4 years.
I move approval of new business item C.
Second.
Well, and we're ready to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to new business item D, a resolution authorizing an award of bid for 2-year service contracts commencing July 1st, 2011 through June 30th, 2013 for electrical, plumbing, and HVAC to the following: in accordance with the terms and conditions of the bid specifications, and as further described in a memorandum from the building official to the town manager, dated May 26, 2011, and entitled 2-year service contracts, as presented on the agenda. Steve?
As noted in Jeff O'Hara's memorandum, we received 3 bids on the electrical, 1 bid for the plumbing, and 2 for the HVAC. Recommendation is to award to the lowest qualified bidder in each of the categories.
Motion to approve new business item D.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to new business item E, a resolution authorizing an award of bid for reinforced concrete pipe to the following bidders at the unit price bid, and is further described in the memorandum from the Public Service Director to the Town Manager dated May 23, 2011, and entitled Bid Recommendation, Reinforced Concrete Pipe, as presented on the agenda.
Recommendation is to award to the low bidders. There's 2 different product types, 2 different awards, one to Hanson Pipe and one to Situate Concrete. as spelled out on the agenda. Recommendation is to award as presented.
Do I have a motion?
I move approval of new business item E.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to new business item F. A resolution authorizing an award of bid for miscellaneous road building materials to the following bidders at the unit prices bid, and is further described in the memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated May 23, 2011, and entitled Bid Recommendation, Road Building Materials. And this is also as presented on the agenda.
There's approximately 25 to 30 different types and items that, for road building materials that are bid on an annual basis. What we're recommending is award to lowest qualified bidders in each of the different categories as outlined on the agenda.
So do I have a motion?
Motion to approve new business item F.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to new business item G. A resolution authorizing an award of bid for drainage, concrete curb, retaining wall materials to the following bidders at the unit prices bid, and as further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated May 23, 2011, and entitled Bid Recommendation, Drainage slash concrete curb, retaining walls materials. And this is also presented on the agenda, as presented on the agenda.
Again, awards to the miscellaneous loads bid qualified bidders. There was 5 vendors that submitted various prices for different items, as outlined in John Schock's memorandum.
Motion to approve new business item G.
Second.
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Carol,
Oh,
if I may.
sorry, Jim?
Steve, I know I've mentioned this to you before. Sometimes when we redo our roads, the catch basins or drainage basins are well below the level of the asphalt. I certainly know, and I know all the spots now to avoid, but how do we correct that, or what do we need to do? Or is there a thicker, wider, deeper catch basin, or those grills with
Can you give me, for instance, what you're talking about, the elevation of the actual catch
Right.
basin being above,
Right.
above the road surface? Or-
No,
or below?
no, the catch base is well below. I mean,
I mean, the department can set the elevation based on the amount of the collar that they put between the final grading that goes at the road as well as the basin itself. Those can be adjusted, and they always are adjusted whenever a road is reconstructed. If there's specific ones where they're too low on the road and they're creating a problem, we would have to adjust them up. But remember, some of them are set below the road surface itself as a means of as providing a more viable collector for the water. Also, it provides, if there's a slope on the road, for the running water to be caught before it gets past that catch basin. But any serious ones that we would have, we would be able to make the adjustments on the basin elevation.
so it's done with a collar.
It's done with a collar above the basin itself.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Kurt, thank you.
Okay, so we're ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, I'm in favor. So that's, motion carries 4-0. Next is new business item L, a resolution authorizing a...
Aye.
Oh, aye, excuse me. My eyes are going. A resolution authorizing a supplemental award of bid to MHQ Municipal Vehicles, 401 Elm Street, Marlborough, Mass., for one 2011 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor V8 vehicle in an amount not to exceed $26,261, including equipment replacements and transfer installation, and as further described in a memorandum from the police chief to the town manager dated June 6, 2011, and entitled Supplemental Bid Recommendation, Police Vehicle Replacement Car 402. Steve?
Car 402 was totaled. The insurance company will be providing us with $14,424. The town's cost will be $11,837 for the replacement vehicle. When we had the contract for bid awards on police vehicles back in March, one of the conditions of the specifications was that we would have the ability to order additional vehicles at the bid price, provided that that model year vehicle was still available. It is still available, so we're going under that prior bid specification. Recommendation is as presented in Chief's memo.
Move approval then of new business item I.
Second?
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. New business item J, a resolution authorizing the amendment of an award of bid originally granted on May 9th, 2011 to Ocean State Transit, 348 West Main Road, Middletown, Rhode Island, for bus transportation services for fiscal year 2011 to 2012 in accordance with all bidding specifications from an amount not to exceed $23,925 to an amount not to exceed $31,125, and as further described in a memorandum from the Director of Leisure Services to the Town Manager dated June 6, 2011, and entitled Recommended Amendment to Bid Award Bus Transportation.
The council at the May 9th meeting awarded the contract as presented. At that time, 2 of the 3 programs that we have bus services for during the summer were included. We need, at this point, to amend that authorization and increase it by $7,200. That provides the bus transportation for the Extreme Summer Camp Program, which had been overlooked when the first bid was awarded.
To approve. New business item J.
Second?
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. New business item K, a resolution authorizing the town manager to enter into and execute a 3-year solid waste and recycling services agreement with the Rhode Island Resource Recovery Corporation, 65 Shun Pike, Johnston, Rhode Island, for the disposal of municipal solid waste and recyclables for the period July 1, 2011 through July 30th, 2014, and is further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated May 31st, 2011, and entitled Rhode Island Resource Recovery Corporation Municipal Solid Waste and Recycling Services Agreement for fiscal year 2012 through 2014. Steve?
Recommendation is as presented. It is important to note that the existing municipal rate of $32 tipping is considerably lower than what the commercial rate is at the state landfill at $54. That is set through the state budget on an annual basis. We believe over the 3 years it should remain at the $32.
Sounds good. Do I have a motion or any discussion?
Motion to approval of new business item K.
Second.
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That takes us to new business item L, a resolution authorizing an award of contract to St. Jean Engineering, LLC, 1145 Middle Road, East Greenwich, Rhode Island, for consulting engineering services to prepare Matunic shoreline protection design plans and specifications in an amount not to exceed $47,400, including a contingency, and is further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated June 3rd, 2011, and entitled Matunic Shoreline Protection Engineering Services Recommendation. Steve?
Based on all of our discussions with Coastal Resource Management Council, its staff, and town council, the town is in a position to appoint a marine engineering consultant that'll be required to prepare the engineering design and documentation necessary to secure all necessary approvals, both state and federal if necessary, to be able to construct an armored stone wall or a sheet steel wall in the Matunic area, which would be approximately the first 225 linear feet. That's on the property that's currently owned by Ms. Carpenter. The contract that we're requesting council authorization on looks not just at the engineering design, but also what the cost would be associated with construction management and resident inspection for the actual construction, and a $5,000 contingency. We went out for proposal to 4 qualified bidders. We received 2 excellent proposals, one from the recommended award for tonight, which is St. Jean. We also received an equally good proposal from GZA Environmental, Geo-Environmental. Their cost was approximately $20,000 higher than the St. Jean Engineering proposal, and for that reason, we're recommending award to St. Jean Engineering at this point. Once the vendor, the consultant, is secured, the survey work will be completed and the initial design will be developed by the marine engineer. Upon completion of the design, we'll then begin a series of meetings with coastal staff to be able to obtain approval for that. Once the staff has signed off on the design, we will then be looking for the executive director of the Coastal Resource Management Council to provide the town with an emergency assent. That emergency assent would be an emergency assent for the entire 675 linear feet between what now is the 2 armor walls that exist on both the east and the west of the subject property. Once we've had an opportunity to begin discussions with the marine engineer, we'll then also be able to get a some type of a sequence of what they believe is the necessary time to be able to get this through process. And I'll provide updates to the council as we go forward.
I just have one question. Steve, do you have any idea how, what kind of time we're talking about? I know you just mentioned time, but...
The preliminary application, the narratives have been, are about 90% complete. It's the engineering work that needs to be done. I think a lot of the question is going to be how long it takes us to get the final Class 1 survey completed and then be able to incorporate the design from there. But I would assume that we're hopeful that we can get at least into discussions with Coastal within the next 4 weeks.
Great, great. Any, Jim?
Yeah, you said discussions with Coastal. They have the ultimate veto.
Absolutely.
Where does this go?
What we're requesting is an emergency assent under the coastal regulations that would allow us to commence work if there was a catastrophic event for the area or outside of the area that we will have a specific application for the actual construction of the wall on the Carpenter property. So that would give us an overall approval, but we wouldn't exercise that approval unless the buildings that currently exist there were no longer there. We're also applying, as I had noted at the previous meeting with the Coastal Council and the Town Council, a second application on behalf of the 6 property owners that are have buildings within that area, and that application would be for a reclassification of that section of the beach to allow for an armored wall protection that the property owners would then be able to submit for approval through the coastal process. Those are 2 distinct and separate applications that will have to be filed.
Right. But would you expect Coastal to say, let's get this done as one, or would they consider these separate?
No, I think Coastal will deal on a staff level with the emergency assent. The second application, which would look for reclassification of the beachfront, would need to go before the full council after a formal hearing and receive approval of the Coastal Resource Management Council, not just the executive director.
And if you had a best estimate guess, if we had quick approvals, how long would it take to build this, the 200-foot section?
I really want to talk with the engineering firm first to really give you an idea. Hopefully, I can have John Schock give an update memo once we've had the initial discussions with St. Jean, and I can have that for you in the next 2 weeks.
But nothing before the worst part of hurricane season, September, October?
No, I don't expect that you would see construction, very earliest, I think, would be this late fall. And again, a lot of that depends on the process that we have to go through. And it's an undefined process because it's an emergency assent that's being sought.
Yeah, thank you.
Any further discussion at the table?
I move approval of new business item L.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to new business item M, a resolution authorizing an award of bid to Contractor and Equipment Incorporated, P.O. Box 38, North Franklin, Connecticut, and for a 2011 New Holland tractor with an Alamo 17-foot Versa A boom mower and a super heavy-duty Flail 88 mower in an amount not to exceed $82,300, including trade-in of a 1995 Ford Model 5640 tractor with Alamo boom mower. And as further described in a memorandum from the Public Service Director to the Town Manager dated May 19, 2011, and entitled Bid Recommendation Roadside Boom Mower.
The recommendation is to award under option 4 as presented in John's memorandum, which would appear as the second low bidder. The first low bidder, Rose, was disqualified since the specifications for the size of the engine was not met by the John Deere tractor that was submitted. It had a 69 horsepower versus the 80 that was being required. What we're also looking is for the second attachment in addition to the boom mower, which would be the rear flail mower attachment that would allow us to be able to do rough grass cutting, vegetation removal on the two Superfund sites where the landfill caps have to be maintained by the town. It is important to note that Narragansett will contribute toward the operations and the maintenance of those Superfund sites, but the equipment will be owned by the town of South Kingstown.
Any discussion? Do I have a motion?
To approve new business item M.
Second.
Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. New business item N, a resolution authorizing the extension of an award of bid originally granted on June 28, 2010 to Premier Laboratories, 61 Louisa Vanes Drive, Dayville, Connecticut, for analytical laboratory testing services for fiscal year 2011 through 2012 in a total amount not to exceed $13,510, including a contingency, and is further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated June 2, 2011, and entitled Bid Recommendation, Analytical Laboratory Testing Services.
I'm going to block for the council's consideration items N, O, and P. All of those are existing contracts that are recommended for extension for the 2011-2012 year for materials or testing associated with the Public Services Department. N deals with laboratory testing. O deals with the acquisition of sodium bisulfate. And P is for the continued purchase for the sodium chloride. If the council wishes, they could block those three together for a single vote.
I move we block them.
I'll second that, Polly, and O&P.
Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor of
Aye.
blocking all three? The motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to new business item Q.
Excuse me, and that vote was to block and to award.
Approve,
Correct.
right. Business item N, O, and P. That brings us to new business item Q, a resolution authorizing the purchase from Bound Tree Medical, 5,000 Tuttle Crossing Boulevard, Dublin, Ohio, of 2 Stryker Power Pro Cot 6500 demonstrator model units in a total amount not to exceed $24,750, delivered and is further described in a memorandum from the Director of Emergency Medical Services to the Town Manager dated June 8, 2011, and entitled Bid Recommendation Power Stretchers. Steve?
The power stretchers, as outlined in Mike DeMello's memorandum, are to provide for powered stretchers, which would allow the crews not to have to lift the patients, but rather to hydraulically be able to move them. We have used on a demonstrator basis for the last 5 months this type of a unit and found it to be very successful in terms of being able to provide patient care. The other key facet of this type of an acquisition is that one of the highest incident rates of injury that occurs with EMS staff is with back injuries associated with lifting of the heavy stretchers. This alleviates that problem. We've looked at 2 different vendors on the power stretchers. The one that's recommended is one that has an ability to change the batteries with batteries that are readily available. The second unit is one that runs off of power within the truck, and if that battery goes down, it needs to be factory reinstalled, which would put the unit down for a considerable period of time. We're also recommending that the council allow us to purchase demonstrator units, which will provide us with a savings of approximately $3,600, but for if the units were brand new. We have, as I say, been using one of those for over 5 months and have not recorded one incident of back injury during the time that that unit's been in operation. So we do have the dollars available for this within the acquisition of the truck that was awarded earlier this year, and I'd recommend that the council that you provide this equipment for the workforce, and also I think it'll save us money in the long run.
Preventative medicine. Any discussion? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve new business item Q.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. New business item R, a resolution authorizing the 2-year extension of a 3-year contract originally awarded on May 29th, 2007 to Milliman Incorporated, 80 Lamberton Road, Windsor, Connecticut, for GASB 43/45 actuarial consulting services in a total amount not to exceed $36,000, including a $3,000 contingency. Year 4 not to exceed $25,000, including a $2,000 contingency, for a full valuation as of July 1, 2011. Year 5 not to exceed $11,000, including a $1,000 contingency, for an interim valuation as of July 1, 2012. And as further described in a memorandum from the Finance Director to the Town Manager dated June 9, 2011, and entitled GASB 43/45 Actuarial Consulting Services Contract Extension Recommendation.
As Alan's memo points out, the town's required to provide accounting and financial reporting on employment benefit costs. The Milliman has been the consultant of record for the last 3 years. The contract that we have them allows us to extend the engagement for a 2-year period based on a negotiated price. The valuation that will be done effective for values as of July 1, 2011 will be a full valuation. There'll be an interim that will be completed. That's why there's a price difference on the 2 years. Recommend award as presented and recommended by the Finance Director.
Any discussion?
I move approval of new business item R.
Second.
Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. New business item S, a resolution authorizing the following fee schedule for the Rose Hill Regional Transfer Station effective July 1, 2011, and amending the town's schedule of fees. Residential user refuse tags, $1.80 per tag. Yard waste tags, $1.22 per tag. And is further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated June 7th, 2011, and entitled Fiscal Year 2011-2012 Refuse Tag and Yard Waste Tag Fee Schedule Resolution.
The only change that is within this resolution is increasing the yard waste tags from $1.16 to $1.22 per bag. As the council will recall, last July, we extended the contract with Waste Haulers that operates the transfer station and established fixed rates on the bag tags over the 3-year extension through June 30th, 2015.
Motion to approve new business item S.
Second?
Ready to vote? Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. New business item T, a resolution establishing the following schedule of wastewater rates effective July 1, 2011, and amending the town's schedule of fees. Minimum 10,000 cubic feet allowance, $225 per 10,000 cubic foot per year per unit. Excess charge over 10,000 cubic feet, $2.85 per 100 cubic feet. And as further described in the memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated June 7th, 2011, and entitled Fiscal Year 2011 to 2012 Wastewater User Fee Adjustment. Steve?
The council's adopted budget for the utility funds for wastewater, the increase was from $220 per unit to $225, and from $2.75 to $2.85. When we talk about the $2.85, that's for the year starting July 1 of 2011 through June 30 of 2012. But it's for the billing period that would be in September, October of 2012. So what we wanted to do is to make sure that while it's a year in advance of the revenue, it is established so that people are aware of what the fee increase is prior to the time that they actually use the service. Those are the only changes. I have also incorporated with the recommendation a survey of sewer system fees statewide. The average fee is $444. So our fees are still very reasonable in comparison with other communities. I would put one caveat on that. There are some systems that we charge in the user fee for debt service associated with plan expansions and modifications. At this point, our bonds are within the wastewater fund and are a component of the wastewater fund, but the major portion is paid through the users itself that receive the service. So some of the communities would not do it with a specific unit charge. They would do it through general bond purpose. But overall, our fees are quite low. In fact, we're the lowest in the state as far as the average fee per residential unit.
Any discussion at the table? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve new business item T.
Second?
Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to new business item U. A resolution establishing the following water user rate schedule effective July 1, 2011, and amending the town's schedule of fees, and is further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated June 7, 2011, and entitled Fiscal Year 2011 to 12 Water User Fee Adjustment. And this is as presented on the agenda. Steve?
The changes that are here is that the average residential unit, which is a 5/8 inch connection, currently pays $165 for that service with 5,000 cubic feet of water available. That will increase by $10 up to $175 for the year with the 5,000 cubic feet. All of the other meter sizes are up approximately 6%, between 5.7 and 6%. The increase on use in excess of the 5,000 cubic feet will increase from $2.71 to $2.91 per 100 cubic feet, which is approximately a 7% increase over the current year. And again, just as with wastewater fees, any excess that we're working with putting the rate in effective as of July 1 of 2011. However, for the billing cycle, it will be for bills that are submitted out in October of 2012. All of the other fees that are listed on the agenda tonight remain unchanged as far as the fire protection units that are spelled out in this resolution. This resolution looks at the council's set of fees, and what we're doing is just amending that entire section, and that's what's replicated here, other than the changes I've outlined.
Any discussion? Jim?
Well, I was hoping we'd have a chance to hear that page being read. Notwithstanding that, Steve, near the bottom there, it says, water furnished by the utility outside of the town through 1 meter shall be charged the minimum meter charged if the meter is furnished by the, can you put that in English for me?
In English, that means that at one time, we were selling water to Narragansett.
Oh, okay, all right.
We're no longer doing that, but it remains in the fee schedule.
Okay, thank you. It was simple.
Make a motion to approve new business item U.
Second?
Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
To adjourn.
Second?
Do I have, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Good night.